Lakehead University finds its next president. City Council continues to debate the 2023 budget. And optimism about a health care deal between Ottawa and the provinces.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Lakehead University's Board of Governors has selected the school's next president and vice chancellor.
Jillian Siddall is coming back to LU, where she previously served as Dean of Social Sciences and Humanities. She says she's excited to return as the school's 9th president.
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled. As you may know, I spent many years at Lakehead. I got my very first full-time position as a faculty member in the English department there in 1998, a long time ago, and spent 17 years there in various roles. And I've now been gone for 8 years, and it's just so exciting to think about coming back and to give back to a university that has given me so much.
Siddall is currently the president of the Emily Carr University of Art and Design in Vancouver, a position she's held since 2018. She's also a former director of Lakehead's Teaching and Learning Center and an accomplished jazz musician in her spare time. Siddall will replace current LU President Moira McPherson, who announced last year that she wouldn't seek an extension to her 5-year contract. The changeover will officially take place on July 1st.
Absolutely. I know Moira very well. She's fantastic.
How do you feel the transition will go?
Oh, it's going to go very well. She and I have already chatted, and she's been very generous about offering to meet with me in advance of July 1st to fill me in on some of the key issues and priorities and really facilitate that transition.
The latest budget meeting at City Hall led to a slight decrease to the tax levy after Thunder Bay Fire Rescue recalculated its budget figures. There were some pointed discussions last night, particularly about a new position for the CEDC and mental health supports for emergency workers. Vasilios Bellos reports.
Thursday's meeting marked the halfway point of the budget process, with few solidified ideas coming forward from City Council to reduce the tax levy hike. It comes after Council directed administration on Tuesday to provide a list of possible cuts by January 31st to get the proposed levy down to 4% after growth. During Thursday's meeting, the CEDC put forward a memorandum that got Council approval, meaning a $48,500 decrease to their materials budget line based on the current financial pressures, though they're still seeking a $175,000 increase over last year, largely for a new marketing position.
It seems like there's a lot of people there that this job could be quite easily done by the existing complement.
Mayor Ken Boshkov questioned whether the position was even required, to which CEO Jamie Taylor made her case that it would help properly market Thunder Bay.
We do have one marketing position, but we do feel that the work warrants 2 positions if we want to continue to expand in this area and remain competitive. We've definitely taken a look at that and how we could reallocate resources. And I think it's important to remember that the CDC has not asked for a new position for several years.
The big tax levy drop of the evening at 0.2% came from Thunder Bay Fire Rescue, who asked for a $424,000 reduction from their wages budget. It's a result of what's being called an error Fire Rescue identified after the budget was submitted. Along with Fire Rescue, Superior North EMS was also present at the meeting, with City Manager Norm Gale explaining that there is a common theme that's raising their costs.
Both services see growth in mental health issues, wellness for first responders that does drive budget challenges.
While both paramedics and fire services' overall budget increase requests are 2% below the city's levy hike, mental health challenges for staff has led to more overtime and WSIB costs, with Fire Chief Greg Hankio saying they plan to add contract psychological services to support their workers.
And the key to this, through the chair, is really timely access to service. The longer our staff are off, and it's statistically proven that once an employee is off for up to a year, we have about a 96% chance of not getting them back to work.
After the Thursday meeting, the tax levy dropped to 6.6% before growth and 6% after. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
Premier Doug Ford announced the expansion of a healthcare training grant today. It funds education for workers willing to stay in underserved areas after graduation, including here in the Northwest.
The program started with 1,500 students. We thought that's great. 1,500 students, that's fantastic. Today, I'm thrilled to announce the Learn and Stay grant will expand to 2,500 students. On top of nurses, the expanded program will now be open to others in-demand professionals, including paramedics and medical lab techs. We're bolstering our workforce, building a pipeline of healthcare talent for growing and underserved communities.
The province says expanding the Learn and Stay grant will help increase the number of workers providing care closer to where people live.
The chief of Superior North EMS was quick to give that announcement the thumbs up. Shane Muir says the tuition support is something they've long been waiting for.
Anybody who's interested in becoming a paramedic can now go to school and attend a northern college, anywhere with a P area code, and then they can have their tuition paid for.
Muir confirmed that the grants will greatly help to recruit new paramedics into their service. Superior North EMS already has a partnership with Confederation College, where students finish their program with some on-the-job training. Muir adds that the new paramedics are in high demand, with the healthcare system still in a state of crisis.
Health human resources are in high demand, and that includes paramedics. We desperately need paramedics on the road, and it's a highly rewarding, highly lucrative career that they can enter right now, and it's something that's really going to attract people to the north. We're excited to see our district communities get the support they need, and we're excited to see some new graduates come out of the college.
Grant applications for the 2023-24 academic year will open this spring.
Federal Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault was at the Valhalla today for a private meeting with the Mattawa and Mishkegoic tribal councils. A group of protesters showed up as well to voice their disapproval of Guilbeault's involvement in projects they say go against his climate change initiatives.
What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Guilbeault was a climate change activist with Greenpeace in 2001 when he pushed for Canada to ratify the Kyoto Protocol climate treaty. But now he's overseeing the TMX pipeline expansion, and he approved the Bay du Nord deep sea drilling project for 2028. Protest organizer Paul Berger says those fossil fuel projects send a clear message that climate change is not an urgent issue for the Trudeau government.
He knows that shifting to renewable energy will be cleaner, safer, and also cheaper. And that Canadians want to do this now. We want the oil and gas cap, emissions cap to be strong. We want the Just Transition Act to be really assertive. And we think Minister Guilbeault needs to hear from people so he can go back and tell his cabinet colleagues, people want this, people are ready. If we're going to be competitive in the next election, we've got to get the youth vote, we've got to get the environmental vote, we've got to actually inspire people with the ambition we have on climate so that they see that we've got a brighter future ahead.
The Environment Minister's private meetings ran at least 2 hours later than expected, leaving the protesters waiting out in the cold. The rally eventually ended without any interactions with Guilbeault.
A new green industry could be coming to the North Shore. A local forestry company wants to build a renewable natural gas plant at the site of the former Nipigon multiply mill. Lee Noonan has the story.
First Nations-owned Lake Nipigon Forest Management, Inc. is proposing to build a plant in Nipigon that would use forestry byproducts, such as wood chips and slash, to produce a renewable form of natural gas, as well as a product called biochar that can be used in the production of high-carbon steel.
When you go and you make lumber or pulp and paper, well, you're only looking after your clean wood there to make those products. This is using all the excess residues from that material and actually going and taking that off the landscape. You're not doing slash pile burns, you're not leaving it out there, and you're actually using that to produce green energy and those items there. So it is actually, all the processes are carbon negative.
The proposed location was the site of a major fire in 2007. Nipigon's former multiply mill, which produced plywood, burned to the ground 16 years ago and was never rebuilt. costing the town around 130 jobs. Rubin says this is an ideal location given the proximity to the Nipigon Forest and the population center of the town. Negotiations with Nipigon have yet to happen, but Mayor Suzanne Kuko says that if the property sale does go ahead, it will be an economic boon to have a new employer and a new taxpayer in town.
People in Nipigon are really, really excited about having the possibility of having another business on there that's actually producing things and exporting things out just like the old mill used to. So I think it's a really good thing for Nipigon if it happens.
The proposal was discussed at a public forum in Nipigon on Thursday.
I've logged on this forest for over 50 years, and it's good to see that it might be sustainable for a lot longer for some of the younger people.
I'm thinking that it's a really good potential for value-added products and using stuff that normally would have gone to waste and providing jobs in the town here.
Yes, we don't want to remain unnoticed, and it'll put Nipigon on the map as well as a vibrant community, which we need to be again.
It could be anywhere from 12 employees up to 50 employees, depending on size. But that also equates to more operations in the forest for cutting the trees, as well as transporting it with haul trucks and those items, as well as all the renewal activities as well. So it could be anywhere between 30 to 400 people, to be honest.
If everything goes exactly how Rubin hopes, they could be prepping the site here as early as September and going into production within the next 2 or 3 years. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
In just 3 weeks, local snowmobilers will hit the trails in Minnesota for a great cause. The popular Snow-arama event is returning to Grand Portage Lodge and Casino in support of Easter Seals Kids. This 18th edition of Snow-arama will be the first to be held in person since the onset of the pandemic, giving participants much more than just the beautifully groomed trails to look forward to. There will also be activities and entertainment throughout the weekend. The kickoff event was held earlier today at J&J Sports. Easter Seals spokesperson Rhonda Harrison joined 12-year-old ambassador Emily Pike to share their excitement.
We're so grateful we can help kids like Emily purchase equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, also summer camp opportunities. Emily actually got to go to Camp Wood Eden for the very first time this year and had a great time.
How was it? How was camp?
I'm going back again.
That's a good sign.
Since its inception, Snow-arama has raised more than $540,000 for children living with physical disabilities. Those who want to get involved can find information on the Snow-arama website. Pledge forms are also available at J&J Sports.
The pandemic was incredibly difficult on youth mental health, and now one group is using the Robbins Minor Hockey Classic to let kids know they're not alone. Children's Centre Thunder Bay is using Canada's sport to slash the stigma around mental health. The campaign will see the U13 volunteer pool Bearcats wearing green jerseys, the mental health awareness color, as a way to encourage an open discussion and remind people that it's okay to seek help. Children's Centre Foundation Coordinator Dana Papiza says with so many youth suffering from mental health issues, the conversation is crucial.
We say 1 in 4 kids are affected by mental health. In this tournament alone, that equates to 32 teams, which is almost 550 youth in minor hockey. That's a very big number. So if we can get people talking about it and telling their stories, more people will feel like they can come forward and talk to somebody they care about how they're feeling.
The Robbins Tournament continues all weekend. More information on mental health supports is available on the Children's Centre Foundation website.
Well, Fiona, maybe it's just my imagination seeing that temperature behind you, but to me it's felt colder over the last couple of days.
Well, it was definitely colder last night and into the early morning hours. At 9 a.m., we had a low of -18 and a wind chill of -25. That was a cold start to the day, but we warmed up to -7, which is a good 2 degrees above normal for this time of year. So even though Ryan's complaining, as he often does, this is actually not bad. And we had sunshine. Come on, Ryan, work with me here. We had lots of sun. Winds were fairly light from the southwest, 12 to 18 kilometers per per hour. If we take a look at what's going on across the region, we've got some light flurries in Fort Frances. Temperatures have been holding fairly steady between about -8 to -9, wind chills closer to -12. Similar temperatures in Kenora and Dryden. Red Lake also experiencing periods of flurries with temperatures ranging today from as cold as -10 first thing in the morning to a high of -7 at this hour, hitting around -8 with wind chills feeling like -15. Now, the real cold temperatures were in Greenstone in the early morning hours. Clear and very cold. Wind chills hit -30 to the northeast. At this hour, they're at -15. The winds are calm, so not really even any wind chill to talk about. And it's been clear and sunny today, so at this hour, clear skies. We've got Marathon at -12, and as we head into Sault Ste. Marie, it's -7. They've been holding fairly steady, ranging from -6 to about -9 today. Wind chills at this hour currently feel like -13 with just a few clouds. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay, we are going to see another almost seasonally cold night, a low of -17 and wind chills of -22. So could be very similar to what we experienced yesterday. It's going to be, or this morning, sorry. So we're looking under partly cloudy skies overnight tonight, and it's not going to stay clear and sunny. But as you can see, not really much in the way of precipitation, no snowfall, no freezing rain. It's going to actually be a pretty calm day. But for those of you who are like Ryan and really want that little extra heat, Mother Nature is going to serve it up. I'll have more details later on in the news hour.
Okay, well, that's good news. And yet, I'm a baby about the cold. I have never pretended to be otherwise. And Fiona, I will not lie to the good people of Thunder Bay and suggest that I'm not a baby about the cold.
Just honest.
Thanks a lot. Well, there could be some encouraging news when it comes to a healthcare deal between Ottawa and the provinces. We'll tell you all about that as your Friday News Hour continues.
Based on the recent conversations, is that those obligations are well understood and will be upheld by whatever changes to the system